Today I'm going to talk about how to raise successful kids without overparenting. And
Louder, louder.
why do I choose this video? I choose this video because nowadays some parents are too overprotective and don't give their child the necessary space that every child needs in their life. And because the parents always want to be there by the side of the child, in a time the child feels like he or she doesn't have enough space to be in their own. And they feel like their parents don't believe in them, and some children doesn't learn how to be independent and make their own decisions because of the fact that their parents is always there and doesn't give their child a private space and the right to make their own decisions. Also, some children don't follow their dreams or passion because they end up taking a career that their parents think is the best for them and that will give them a good life and not the career that makes them happy or they like. Summary of the video. This video discusses how to raise successful kids without being too overprotective with your child. Julie tells that these days there is a certain style of parenting these days that is messing up kids, impairing their chances to develop in their own. Some people spend too much time on being concerned about parents who are involved enough in their lives of their kids, but don't notice that being too involved in the life of their kids can also have a lot of harm involved as well. Parents don't believe that their kids can be successful unless the parent is protecting and preventing at every turn, always being over every happening and watching every moment of their life and telling their kids towards some small subset of college and careers. She also tells that when parents raise kids this way, their kids end up leading in a checklist childhood. That is when parents keep their child safe and sound, fed and watered, and be sure that they go to the right school, but also that they are in the right classes at the right school, and that they get the right grades in the right classes, in the right schools, and tell everything they should join or do in the right school, because they say that college want to see them. Parents expect their kids to perform at a level of perfection that they were never asked to perform at themselves. And then, because parents spend so much time controlling, helping, and watching every little thing their kids do, to be sure their kids are not doing anything wrong and not closing doors, not ruining their future. Some hope for admission to a tiny handful of college that denies almost every applicant. That's what it feels to be in the checklist childhood. There is no time for free play and no room in the afternoons because everything has to be enriching as the parent thinks. Every piece of homework, every quiz, every activity is a make or break moment for that future parents for that future that parents have in mind for their kids so they don't involve the child helping around the house as long as they're checking off the intents on their checklist. She tells that some parents, when their kids come home from school, the only thing they ask is about how was school, like their homework or their grades. And kids see that in their faces that their approval and their love only consists from their grades that is expected to be A's, causing them to just jump a little higher and soar a little farther day after day. Like when they get to high school, kids don't say or ask themselves be what might they be
It's okay.
what might be interested in studying or doing as an activity. They go to counselor and ask them what do they need to do to get in the right college. And when the grades start to roll in high school and they getting some B's or C's, they text their friend asking them if they have or know someone that has gotten into the right college with those grades. Wishing that their parents or someone tells them that what they have done is enough, that their effort they put in childhood is enough. Then they are withering under high rates of anxiety and depression. Some of them are wondering that if their life will ever turn out to have been worth it. But parents do know that it will be worth it. That if they get into one of these right college or careers they have in mind for their kids, or maybe they are just afraid that they won't have a future they can tell about to their friends and with stickers on the back of their cars. But if parents look at what they have done to the child, not only their kids will see that their work only comes from age, because one day when they see the way that their kids develop their minds, they will tell their child that they can achieve any of this without them. Then Julie outlines that with the parents over her overprotection and overdirection and hand holding, they stop their kids of the chance to build self-efficacy. And self-efficacy is built when one sees that one's own action lead to outcomes, not one's parents' actions on behalf, but when our own actions lead to good outcomes. Some kids need to develop themselves in their own, dreaming and experiencing life, and not be stressing of what they have or need to do because their parents say is the right thing to do. Julie also discusses that parents should be less concerned with the specific set of college their kid might be able to apply or get into, and be more concerned that they have the ability to be successful with whatever they go. And kids need to be less obsessed with grades and scores and be more interested in childhood providing a foundation for their success built on the things like love and chores. Julie then brings that one of the longest study of human ever conducted called Harvard Grant Study. It found that professional success in life, which is what parents want for their kids, come from having done the chores comes from having done the chores as a kid. And the earlier you started, the better that is. And makes them think when they are growing up that there is some unpleasant work like chores that someone has to do, and it might as well be them that has to do it. A mindset that says that they will contribute better, and that's what get you ahead in the workplace. But when parents don't make their kids do the chores in the future, the kids will end up as a young adults in the workplace, still waiting for a checklist which doesn't exist, having a lack of impulse, lack of instincts of how they can be useful for others, how how they can how can they do some better job that needs to be done before someone asks them to do it. Another important finding from Harvard Grant Study said that happiness in life comes from love, not love of work, love of humans or spouse partner or friends or family. Childhood needs to teach kids how to love, and they can love others if they don't love themselves. And they won't love themselves if parents can offer them unconditional love. Instead of worrying so much about their grades and scores when they come home from school, parents should close technology and put away their phones and look them in the eyes and let them see the joy that they feel, that fills their faces when they see their child for the first time in a few hours. And ask them, how was your day? Or what do you like about today? Knowing that you want to hear about the work they did in school, like a test or what is the homework. But parents still need to take an interest in lunch and ask them what was the grade about lunch today. Julie
Sorry. Oh, go ahead. Concludes. You're saying concludes. Go ahead.
Julie concludes that they need to know that they matter to us as a human, not because of their GPA. She also says that you don't have to go to one of the biggest brand new schools to be happy and successful in life. A lot of happy and successful people went to a state school, went to a small college, and one of them has heard of went to community college. Parents need to change their way of thinking and stop believing that if their kids don't go to one of those biggest brand new schools, they won't be successful. And it's better that their childhood has not been built according to a checklist. Then when they get to college, no matter which one they go to, they will have gone there on their own decision, capable and ready to face that reality. She says that kids are wildflowers of unknown genius and spaces, and it's their parents' job to provide nurturing, like a good environment, to strength, to church, and to love them so they can love others and receive love. And the college and the career, the major, that's up to them. Parents' job is not to make them become what they will have them become, but support them in becoming their glorious selves. The most interesting part of the video. I think the most interesting part of the video was when Julie explains that being too overprotective with your kids can affect their future. Because when the time they grow up, they will end up as young adults in the workplace, still waiting for a checklist which doesn't exist. Lacking their impulse, their instinct of how they can be useful for others, how they can do better at something in their life before someone else tells them how to do it. Discussion question for the class. Do you think being an overprotective parent is a good idea so your kids can be successful in the future? Why or why not? Do you think being an overprotective parent is a good idea so your kids can be successful in the future? Why or why not?
I think that parents should not be overprotective to their kids because they're gonna raise their kids as they're going to be they always going to be there, and that's wrong. Because one day parents gonna die, and then what happened with the kids? They don't even know what to do because the parents always gonna be there. That's why I was talking before about that. That kids should, or as us as young adults, have to find a solution to solve our problems by our own. Because one day we're gonna have to do it, and then there's not gonna be nobody there to help us. So I think that as a child, parents should teach their child with little things so they can learn in the past how to deal with life, because it's life.
education.
Overparenting, I think that's not good because the parent will be like let the child to be more independent because in the
Future.
future the kids have to make their own decision. You know how Elena say no always your parent will be there. So that's
All right, Tim.
What are you thinking?
I think now all the time that sometimes you don't have to talk to them, you don't have to time by you. Also your you to do and not by you have to like to know how to do that and how she said in the future is that you have to know how to do this so because you don't need for them and plus people like when you grow up, they should like learn how they should know how to deal with it when they have a problem. But I think that over parents is not that that because like parents like since I grew up they have me like over parents and they have me people like that and not like make me how they she's feeling that you don't know how to be by yourself. But I know how to do that myself because they taught me all that stuff.
So you think sometimes, like,
It's sometimes yeah, because it's like as you guys saying that you should be independent and now all the time. Because when you're independent, you don't have to do that. You don't feel like you have to be like, oh my God, I'm not really protected, so I should do this, I should do that, I should do that. So sometimes you can't do that.
So, which will be some of your parenting techniques when you have a child, and how in the future that will make them, that will make them a great person in life? Which will be some of your parenting techniques when you have a child, and how in the future that will make them a great person in life?
Right. It's a good question. Makes you think, ooh, I haven't thought about that. Right? We're always just like, do you want a kid? Yes or no, right? But it's like, what would you do with that
If you
kid?
want a kid.
Yeah, I think that really answer fits with the answer of that question. Like I agree with her because the thing is not to be overprotective or not be protective. I think that is about to teach the child the right things or the right way. To be a good person, to have values, to do what you should do, to do what you like to do. I think that's one of the reasons.
Remember, I want to hear from everyone.
I think this makes sense in the future, but the big thing we need to raise my kids is like to show them like sometimes just like you would say overparenting. I told them like when it's over to continue, but sometimes good because some of our parents kind of like the parents go that way. That's good when you see something that you didn't have, you want like you look up to another person.
No, that's not the word, but I know what you're talking about, and now I can't think of the word. Go ahead, keep going, I'll think of it.
Yeah, it's like some of our parents feel like it's been ended up like early in their life. They don't want that to happen to their kids, so they want them to be perfect. They want them to have what they really have when they were kids.
They live vicariously through their kids.
Through our the kids they have. So that is what makes them sometimes overparenting. That is even what I would like for my kids. I will not overprotect them, but I will show them like everything that I've learned from my parents. But my mom also learned that from show them the good way, and if they end up making a mistake, that is good because they made a mistake and then they are a step further because they learn from the mistake. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I will show them everything over parenting, of course, but I will do it, and then also let them have the choice to do whatever they would like to become in the house.
Like always say, oh, you say this because I guess sometimes they come and I was like, so I want to do that. Or they think that I do it all suffer. So he's like trying to make it simple. I want to see my kids there. I want to do this. Overparent is a good thing sometimes, like she said. But you have to let them choose what they want to do.
They can say everything. Not everyone has the same opinion. I feel very differently than all of you. Go ahead, Kanti.
I actually agree with all you guys. I think that overparenting and sometimes a good thing too. But like depending on, for example, like what they want to study or what they're interested in, I think the child has to make their own opinion. Like parents can give them like examples, but if the child actually like listen to it, they should like follow the only thing that they need to do.
I think if your child is under 6 years old, it's the overparenting concept. But when your child is over 6 years old, you have to let your child be more independent, you know.
But I think that when you found that rules, like my mom always say that when you like people see like saying, and when you grow up, that is, if you kind of like trying to go like get out and then you straight, like grow up straight, even when it's going to be older, you remember everything you have taught them when you were a kid. And I don't think there is any way that you can really go against what you have taught them if you have very important well. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want, when you really overparenting when you was a child, it's of course it's going to end up doing that thing. But if you not overparenting, but if you show them the good way, you will grow up the way you show them to grow up. You know what I'm saying?
I think some overparenting if they want to help the kid to do it better tonight, because some people like to get answers from our kids. They just do whatever but if we get do this person at home, and we get like in school or in school, they won't do something like that. So I think like teaching them like sometimes you have to it's kind of better for them to not do anything about it because they're other people to their parents doesn't care about what they do in school or like they can just take the other kids that are trying to do it. I think over time that tells you to not be around the other kids or do what they're supposed to do.
I also think that the foundation of the education stuff at home, you know, because when you were well, like educated at home, I don't think that kids will be like, will do anything bad in school. Like the school is, of course, the school, like we got educated in our house, that is all the foundation of the education part. And then in school, when you go to school, you got like instruction and all this stuff. So I think, you know, when you protect the kid, I'm not protecting the kid, but when you show them the good way of living at home, which is the foundation, and you grow up and like doing what their mother has shown. But at the end of the day, all the parents, I don't think there's any parent out there who want their kid to fail. You know, all the parents want the good thing for their kids. That is what makes them sometimes over-parenting.
Well, I think also we have to look at how parenting depends very much so on the person, on the culture, on individuals' experiences. So it's all very subjective. So what I might consider over-parenting, you might just say that's normal, that's just parenting, right? So when we get to that point where we say, well, what is over-parenting? What is under-parenting? What is parenting? I mean, what's none of us have children, right? We only have the experiences that we got as children. maybe that's very different than what we would want to pass on to our own children. Go ahead, Jason.
It's for to teach to them all the whole world how was made in then you have to parenting how to teaching everything what's going on for years. You have to know how to how to be creative, how
Good.
to be responsible, and get notice what's happening right now.
Uh-huh.
And yes, it
No, that good. So there's definitely a need to teach children what's right and what's wrong, right? But I like that Jason added that element that you also need to teach children to be creative, right? Because as many of you said, there's one day that your parents aren't going to be there for you to call and say, hey, what should I do in this situation, right? So giving the tools to your children to be creative for themselves and decide for themselves absolutely is necessary, right? But I think what we're discussing is what is the appropriate number of tools that we give to our children, right? What do we just say, let them figure it out? Can I ask a question? Okay. Do you think that your parents are overprotective or over-parenting you at this moment? Or are they under-parenting you? Anyone have a very different experience that wish maybe their parents were more involved, maybe gave them more guidance?
I think that my mom is overprotective, she's overparenting, because of the, I think this is sort of the culture.
Uh-huh.
Even back when she's here, we have like very different cultures.
Uh-huh.
And then when she was going to school, and I see how she sees like, our kids or children are always weird. Sometimes I like the kids, because like in my culture, like, you couldn't like tell like how it was like adults and all this stuff. So when she came here, she saw the way like children, acting regarding to like adults and how all this stuff. So she kind of like, she doesn't want to end up doing like acting the way people acting. That is why she's kind of overprotecting a little bit.
Okay. Has anyone had a very different experience? Is there anyone that feels like their parents have let them make a lot of decisions, a lot of mistakes? I ask my mom all the time, Mom, why did you just let me do that? That was so stupid of me, right? And she always says, Shay, you had to learn on your own. It doesn't, and sometimes your parents do give you advice and you don't listen. Mm-hmm. And then you say, oh, you were right.
You
right?
told me that.
Right? Like, oh man, I should have listened to you, right? But then sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes what your parents are advising you may not in the end be what you felt was best for you, right? And so it's a really tricky thing, parenting.
You know that something happened to me? That I was raised by a single mother.
Uh-huh.
So I always used to tell her things and she didn't listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the things I tell her, it happened to her because she didn't listen to me.
Oh, this is the opposite then.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you have any final thoughts or conclusion? That it? Anyone have any questions for Elizabeth?
What do you think about everything?
Yeah, well, we know why you chose this, right? But is it because it's a personal thing for you?
Well, my mom is overprotective. So I think sometimes it's good because, because of she being protective, I don't make any bad decision. But at the same time, she made me do it like on my own. Like sometimes she said like I asked her, oh, what do you think about this? Like what should I do? Or like she said, it's your decision. Like you have to make it. Like because sometimes they can make a decision for you. Mm-hmm. And you say like she said like do what you think is better for you. Like because of what she told me in the past. Like I should know what is better for me. So I think sometimes like she said
Good job. Round of applause. And we are just on time. All right. Sorry, your question time has run out.